The following is an episode of the Grassroots Freedom Initiative podcast. This episode is the audio from videos released on our YouTube and Rumble channels. There may be times in this episode when we refer to information displayed on the screen that is impossible to provide in podcast format. However, links to the video version of this episode, as well as links to sources mentioned in this episode, can be found in this episode's show notes. Now, the Grassroots Freedom Initiative podcast. They hate us. Our elected representatives hate us. This past week, we had a very interesting occurrence in Ohio. Several members of the Ohio legislature weren't very happy when grassroots Ohioans took exception to their proposed legislation. It wasn't that the activists simply disagreed with the legislation. It was that these grassroots conservative activists were able to communicate with and alert previously silent Ohioans. In other words, they were shocked that grassroots conservative Ohioans were able to organize, educate, activate, and mobilize these Ohioans and have them speak out loudly and on relevant platforms, to the point where the reputation of these elected representatives could be compromised with their constituents. That's called political power. It's the only thing that makes politicians act. Every move is calculated. Never believe a word they say. Their actions are all that matters. This is a difficult concept for regular Ohioans who want to believe everyone is as good, as kind, as compassionate, and as charitable as they are to accept. Until you spend as much time with politicians as we have, you won't believe this quote from Frank Herbert, the author of the Dune series. All governments suffer a recurring problem. Power attracts pathological personalities. It is not that power corrupts, but that it is magnetic to the corruptible. And then there are these clips from Dan Bongino's shows.
Again, I'll just say in advance, I don't mean it to be rude, but if you just keep in mind that every politician hates you and you just measure outcomes, you'll be okay. You won't be disappointed. I'm telling you, all you need to care about is the wins. These guys all hate you and they all suck. Keep your eye on the W's. Stay away from the personalities. I love Gates. I love McCarthy. I love Johnson. I love No. They don't love you back. They don't love you back. Folks, our lives don't revolve around a handful of people in Washington, D.C., okay? We've got kids, we've got jobs, we've got things to do. These guys and ladies, I tweeted out last night, put on my True Social account, they all hate you. Do you understand that in the chat? They all hate you. When you properly digest that, when you chew on it and you incorporate it into your being, right? You'll never be disappointed. They all hate you. They all hate you. It's okay. We don't like them either. We use them as tools. That is it.
If you start with the premise that they hate you, you will never be disappointed, because almost all of them do. We have news for every Ohio elected representative about our close inspection of their work, their campaign finances, and their associations. Get used to it. We don't care if you don't like it because we know you hate us. You are only tools for us to use to get the government we want. This is the new normal. This movement has people working hard to analyze every piece of legislation, every amendment, every hearing, every vote, every budget, every appropriation, and every expenditure. It has people taking this information and sharing it with others, making it go viral. They are building and improving their communication channels daily, sidestepping the major political parties and legacy corporate media, almost all of which are feckless. And they're doing it simply because they want better communities, a better state, a better nation. They're doing it as a mission, not for personal gain. They're doing it for the future of their children and grandchildren. For them, this is compensation enough. The satisfaction of doing the right thing, something few politicians can fathom because it doesn't make sense to them, because they hate us. Ohio is a deeply red state. no matter what the legacy corporate media or two major political parties tell us. We have a Republican Party that is unresponsive to grassroots conservatives who just happen to align with the Republican Party. We are conservatives first, Republicans second, a distant second. Before you Democrats start cheering, Republicans might not be able to solve all of our problems, but Democrats are sure as shooting the cause of them. Our elected GOP representatives need to wake up, as do the establishment insiders of the Ohio Republican Party ecosystem. We've had a supermajority in both chambers of our legislature and a supposedly Republican governor for quite a while. A trifecta, as political pundits call it. Yet Florida, with a much smaller GOP majority than Ohio, trailblazes the conservative path, while Mike DeWine fixates on Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, Fran's cookbook, and struggles to decide if boys should or shouldn't be allowed in girls' bathrooms and girls' sports, all while the party apparatchiks fawn over him like trained seals. We are taking back the governing of our townships, our villages and cities, our counties, and our state. If you are a legislator or some other elected representative, we welcome the opportunity to work with you as peers, not with someone who tells us the way it's going to be, ignores us, and belittles us. You make the choice. We'll build our strategy based on it. You work for us. Never forget that. Just call us. We'll pick up. Ignore us? Do so at your own political peril. Just ask John Cross, Gail Pavliga, or Mike Loychik. If you're an Ohioan who isn't part of our movement but likes what you've heard and wants to learn more, feel free to call or text me on my personal mobile number, 614-499-0599. Or you can also text the letters GFI to 66866 and follow the prompts to be added to our email list. You can also text the word JOIN to 833-935-4657 to be added to our text alert system. Now, let's all go roll up our sleeves, either to bare knuckle it out, meaning if you choose to fight us, we'll defeat you, or work together with passion and exuberance to make Ohio great again. Remember, as our Ohio state motto says, with God, all things are possible.